Hello everyone, how are y'all doing? Hey, it's patch day everyone, it's patch day! Woo! You can't play Turtle WoW on patch day. And even if you do, I would advise against it, especially if you're hardcore. But you probably know that by now. If you don't, welcome. Hi. I didn't plan on streaming today, but I had a couple snafus. Monday is normally when I do my radio programming for Turtle WoW News. And I finished. And I was looking at things that normally on Mondays, I'm like, right at this point in time, I'm scrambling to get ready for an Axe Ramus raid. Nax is canceled today because, well, if you don't know if the server's going to be stable, Nax Ramus is a bad time to try that out. So I got a little reprieve this week. I don't normally do a Monday stream, and truth be told, news is kind of in a weird spot because, like, I really want to touch upon some of the stuff here, but I'm going to be honest. The news for the week is this gigantic patch note, which, if I'm doing it live, I would like to cover it a little bit more in detail. And the script that I have is made for the radio, and it's much more hands-off. I might try to make up something later for it, but I mean, I even did a word count on this patch note. It's 6,600 words long if you include the class adjustments too. And I've read through all of it, but making a script to authentically cover all of that is a lot. I'm going to tell you right now, it's a lot. It's not bad, but it's just a lot. That's all. So I was like, I don't know, maybe we'll just go over it unscripted, because not only that, if I cover something too in depth, y'all go crazy in my comments, which I don't mind. Like, you know, if this was like a career for me, I would be like, yeah, all right, engagement, let's go. But I don't know, man. Anyway, what's up, Sonic, Raukangren, Jim A, hello, Slips. Yes, we are all Rograg in our own way. And Cinex. I wanted to, well, you know, go through the changelog at the very least. Kind of touch upon a couple things. Some things I know about, some things I don't. And, you know, just let you know about. Obviously, I'm going to touch on the class changes when we get there. I want to finish the general. And then we'll move on to when I'm going to consider the class changes. And we could talk about those a little bit. But it's going to be a lot more freeform, something for you guys to do while you're waiting for the servers to go back up. And, you know, if you're on the Turtle team and you're watching, that means you're probably not a dev. Hi. If you are, don't let management catch you. But for real, I have seen the dev chats and stuff. They're going nuts right now because it's like this every patch day, because no matter how many ways you slice it, no matter how much preparation they could do, when you go to merge everything, something bad happens. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. So I do have some empathy for them because you know, I get to read those messages and I get to see just how nuts it is. So shouts out to them. And I actually think there's a lot of wisdom in having this patch come out a couple days before the actual release of Karazhan. So any bumps in the road that might happen, you don't have to deal with those for the release of Karazhan. That makes a lot of sense. That's very smart, Turtle WoW team. Good job. Looking at you. Good job. You did it. You did it. That's real. I love to see that. Oh, Jose. Oh, yeah. And, Jose, sorry. I have no idea if you're actually going to... I just see the name Jose and then immediately made me think, oh, like, Jose, like, like a Spanish name. April 4th also is the opening of South Seas, which is going to be the South American server. So that's kind of a big deal too for a lot of people in the community. A lot of people that are adjacent to the community, they have like their own Discord, Turtle WoW South America. I'm also considered a team member over there. Can't speak Spanish, can't speak Portuguese, but they do also support English. So hey, what's up? When and if the servers do come back on, there's going to be a little treat for the German community as well. If you are in the German community and you play on Northernor and Telebim, it's not even a rumor anymore. It's very substantiated that the Turtle team is also making a German localization of the client. No firm date, but it's soon, TM, if you know what I mean. And very excited about that, just because the German homies, what's up? I think there's a good amount of German speakers on the team, also just on Northernor, but they generally have really good education and have English as a second language, so they've been dealing with that. But I know some people just like seeing stuff in their native language, so I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, I figured as much, Jose, but I do know there's, I know Ricardin, who's usually like a regular commenter during my live chats and on my videos. I know he's thinking of going to the South American server. I also know there's even been some talk from people that are West Coast US that are thinking about playing over there because the better ping rates. And there will be English support, so I don't know. Anyway, let's crack into this patch. You guys see me crack into this? Yeah, Sonic. Yeah, Sonic. I know you work very early mornings. Sleep well, friend. So Jordan, I don't want to qualify that as saying like. What I do know is that support staff have to be able to speak English to talk with the rest of the Turtle team. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be support for it. And I think you can just play with the client on there with an English localization. But I do know specifically it's been marketed for the South American audience because particularly their ping rates are super variable because there's undersea cables that go to Europe, but sometimes it like gets routed to Africa, sometimes it goes around to the American East Coast and goes over the North Atlantic. It's very tough for them, but I don't know for sure. I do know that they will support English language. I'm pretty sure because the staff has to support it, I would assume. For more questions and comments, go check out Turtle WoW South America. Check on their Discord, because they probably have the answers for you. My big thing with the new server is I've been trying to make sure their market data gets recorded by wowauctions.net. Just because the guy who runs it, I don't know if he's aware. So... yeah, it's going to be a little less air gap than obviously the Chinese localizations would be. So, anyway, so here's where it all starts. This is what we're all waiting for, the Tower of Karazhan patch. So, presumably, when this patch goes live, you still won't be able to go into the Tower of Karazhan, but everything else is going to be in. Yeah, I could see that too, Jordan. I mean, so I know the Discord might not have an English section. So, for instance, I know there are people who are Australian and from New Zealand who play on the SEA servers, even though they don't speak Chinese, but they can, since the client still supports English, they can still speak to each other and find each other. So that it might be one of those situations. I would maybe inquire with someone from support staff just to make sure. Obviously, I wouldn't want a big crew to go places, but I mean, playing on Northernr is fine. You know, yeah, things are progressed, so probably the worst consequence of that is if you go to Battlegrounds, you can have someone T-Mog to look like they're all in Tier 1, and then turns out they're like an Atash wielding mage, and you're like, oh no. But outside of that, it's pretty good vibes, you know. But also, if you're a fresh chaser, chase your fresh, I guess. I don't know. Oh, and Mandalore saying hello. Alright, so we know they're releasing the raid. They did a recap of all the different 3.5 tier gear sets. We have Paladin? No, this is Warrior, Warlock, Shaman, Rogue, Priest, Paladin, Mage, Hunter, and Druid. And those have been teased for a while, but those have all been shown. Here's the, if you ever want to watch, you just check out the forum post. There's like a whole teaser trailer for it. You know what? Maybe we'll take a little peek. Hold on. Is this gonna play audio? No, it's not. Hold on. Try that again. Oops, wrong button. Yep, alright, let me turn off music for a second. We can watch the trailer together. Oh, where'd my music go? Okay. Not much yet, Dominar. I just started streaming just a little bit ago, so you didn't miss much. So this is the I'll turn it down a little bit. This is the house that you'll see the guy who's you do a lot of the attunement for Karazhan with him.
Whiskers. I can sense an evil I once felt long ago. A power rippling from another world. Its taint lingers upon Karazhan, piercing through the veil of Azeroth. No, it is not him. His soul left long ago. A shadow.
Pretty sure that's just
but that which once tainted
Medivh
his soul
from
remains.
the Black Morass instance they have in Turtle WoW.
Organ, a malevolent force from realms beyond.
So you'll notice that a lot of what's here in Karazhan looks like very similar architecture to TBC Karazhan.
Beyond our comprehension, are drawn to Karazhan in pursuit of the scythe. Yet,
Definitely
to
different
them I
mobs,
wonder,
though.
What dark ambition stirs within them?
This guy right here is, I think his name's like Gnarlmoon or something. Keeper Gnarlmoon. He's like some sort of demon abomination. It's kind of cool.
The blue dragonflight too has arrived, seeking to untangle the chaotic ley lines that weave through this tower.
Makes sense given the
But
flare.
beware, it is those
I mean that also looks pretty much like this arcane elemental boss we've
very
heard a
ley
lot
lines
about.
that now stir with power, taking form as a living force, driven by vengeance. The ghosts of the past linger still.
For anyone that's done TBC, this is like the observatory where I think you'd fight, I want to say Netherspite?
Many memories continue to dwell within
this is the
halls of
chess
Karazhan,
boss room,
and among
chess
them,
event.
the shade of my once dear friend.
It looks a lot different because it doesn't have all the
echo of his
pieces.
tormented mind,
This is Medivh's
consumed
bedroom,
by the
I think.
dark voice he himself unleashed upon this world. And now, this malevolent voice speaks once more, echoing from the depths of the twisting nether. It whispers commands to its minions as they claw away at reality.
Now this is where I think things kind of go off the rails, or as far as like where it really starts diverging from original Karazhan. There's the orb that we've heard a lot about.
Stealth. A breach that could unleash unimaginable horrors upon our world. His dark plans near completion.
I'm not sure, Jose.
The age of desolation is upon us.
Now, I mean, that's what's it? Are those called Dreadlords? Looks like a model something similar to the one that's in the throne room with Sylvanas, it looks like, but we don't know much about them. It looks like it's Outlands, right? So why would you show that?
These are dangerous times where heroes are desperately needed. Can they brave the Tower of Karazhan?
That's about as much tease as we got.
It is unknown. Where has my cat gone? Whiskers? Hello? Whiskers? Is that you?
That was a teaser trailer we got. So the team that gets the first full clear is going to get a title for Conqueror of Desolation. Oh, I'll turn back on my music, actually. Sorry about that. It bothers me when I don't hear the music, too, because I kind of need it in the background. Right, there it is. So, these are all... I mentioned that. Also, I think you'll get this title if you do a full clear, but you're, like, not the first. I was really excited about some of these pieces. Some of these were shown already. I think a couple of these. I think most of these have been shown. This one's like the most recent. I love Lionel Schramm's artwork. Also, anyone's ever played a shaman, a Tauren shaman, this is what you feel like. I've never seen it captured so well. I know this is like a warrior, right? And I think it's a really good rendition of a warrior. But I mean, look at that absolute beefcake. I love this. I love this rendition. And you can really see that. So each one of them shows the 3.5 tier gear as well. So this is like shaman. This is warrior. It doesn't have like the big closed helm that you saw on some of the pictures. I'm a big fan of this one too, as a longtime rogue fan. Well, look at this rogue. That mage does not know what's about to happen. Oh wait, no, maybe the eyes. The eyes. Look at the eyes. It's like, uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. The rogue's like, yeah, that's right. Also, the goblins with mustaches kill me, and I love it. Such good flavor. I know some of this stuff might not like hit any marks for you guys, but I love this stuff, man. Pretty sure this is showing off the hunter gear. I didn't notice this guy till now. What's going on? He looks as surprised as I am to see him. Did I never notice him? Maybe, but this picture has been shown for a while, so I don't know what this is supposed to represent. This might. I don't think they would have two renditions of rogues. Maybe they would. Maybe Lionel Schramm knows what's up. But you got your paladin, your warlock right here. Big fan of this artwork. I mean, he does great work, really bringing to life some of this stuff. So, oh, Slips your hot step. Hey, what's up? Yeah, Guillermo, that's a blessed existence, friend. I keep going on even when there isn't updates. I don't know why this was even worth mentioning, because no one's technically even had the items yet. So why would you say new icons? They're not new. We haven't even got the gear yet. Anyway. We will come back to this. Okay, we will come back to this. We're gonna go through some of the general changes, all right? I promise we'll come back to this. The tab's ready, all right? So we're good. The client will now launch in windowed widescreen mode with improved default video settings on first launch. This could be huge. incrementally over time, Turtle Wow has done a lot to start to make the game a little less cancerous for players with modern rigs to use. Does this mean it's going to get widescreen support without a bunch of fiddling with FOV? I don't know. Probably not. But I know there's workarounds for it, but it's very tough. And probably out of all the videos I've posted, probably like once a month I'll get a comment being like, "Hey, I'm trying to play on widescreen. Do you know what to do?" And I'm like, just go ask support. I don't know. I don't play in widescreen. Instead, I have 3 screens that act like a mega widescreen. But there's going to be more support for additional mission to the level in Lutic. Yeah, so complete 100 quests to earn a special title. I think that's cool. I think they talked about that initially, so this is going to be like enabling it. If you are like me and like fishing in WoW, this is huge. It seems stupid. It kind of is, but it's huge. There are places on docks that have seats that you can't sit while fishing. And it has always bothered me you have to stand. If you're doing fly fishing, I get it, obviously. If you're like doing some coastal fishing, I get it, that's fine. If you're on a dock or you're like near a pond, it looks awkward to always stand. So I'm just... For fishing enthusiasts, this is huge. This is bigger news than anything. I think we had, I think in a couple of my videos I had talked about this. So there's going to be new loading screens for Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor. Kalimdor is going to have the Goblin. Eastern Kingdom should have a High Elf as part of their loading screen. You can check out the Turtle Wow Twitter to see those early draft images. Chris, you got it. You understand. There's nothing better. I don't even like beer. But when and if I go fishing, there's something magnetic about it. It just cracking a beer while fishing, it's just like, yeah, life's good. Okay. Alright, so this is just branding, not a big deal. Transmog enthusiasts, this is huge. Also, if you're like me, and you have literally had the... so I started playing in 2021 technically, but I really started playing 2022. My first character that I really mained was Rograg, who was a hardcore character, and I leveled him all the way up. Ever since the middle of like early, it was like late spring, I think, of 2022 when I finished the hardcore challenge. You get a tabard of the Immortal Guardian, which is a special tabard you get if you do the hardcore challenge. That's been collecting dust in my bank because I'm like, I know I can't get it again, right? Stuff like that. Transmog enthusiasts are going to be really excited. People that collect stuff like me are going to be excited because I could just equip it, have it in my transmog collection, and not have to worry about having it forever. So this is huge for some people. I wonder if we can not transmog a tabard to not show up. Would be nice. Yeah, well, that's sort of the idea. Is that you need to equip it just like any other gear that it's in your transmog collection, and then you can apply that to another tabard or the one you're currently wearing whenever. Ported over camera skip glitch fix from vanilla tweaks. This is just a quick bullet point, right? But something I'm seeing here is that it looks like the Turtle team is working with some of the developers that have made some of those more hard to install DLL files that will do some light modifications to the executable. This is a good sign, especially for beginning players that don't know everything. Even with guides out there, a lot of things can go wrong. I think the more they can integrate some of these basic quality of life things into like the baseline client, it's going to be huge. And I do know that there's a lot of people on the team that want to have all that stuff, but they're doing it the right way. They're getting permission. They're trying to credit the correct people. And even though Turtle WoW is in a legal gray area, at least as far as, coding goes, they do try to credit the appropriate people, which I think is a really good move. So I'm looking forward to seeing more stuff like this. Exactly, Heavenly. Yeah. I know. Well, you have to understand. So Heavenly, I agree with you, but you have to understand that there's a certain level of literacy with computer usage that not everyone has, and many people get scared off because you have to remember you're starting on a private server, right? You don't have like years of experience and trust built up with them. So as far as you're concerned, you're just like, some random private server wants me to install a DLL that every single one of my virus shields says is a virus. That's a tough pill to swallow. And even if you have a crowd of people saying to do it, you don't know them. You know what I mean? So, stuff like this is going to go a long way, I think, for the more casual or the new player. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So does not Nam Power, but I think Super WoW does. Turtle WoW will now show up in your Discord activity list. Surprisingly important. Not because I'm a social media guy, and if you follow my Twitter and see me post on Reddit, I don't care about social media. These headphones right here, I don't know why, but for some reason, it makes sense. If they go idle for like, I don't know, 15 minutes or something, they'll like turn off. For whatever reason, if I'm just playing Turtle WoW, it won't even pick up that I'm playing a game, or any of the sound will register as like like an authorized audio channel, and they'll just turn off. I'm hoping this fixes that. I don't know why. Honestly, I have to like either talk to someone in Discord to keep them on, or like have like a YouTube video playing in the background to keep them on. It's really weird. But anyway, I digress. Fixed issue with set bonuses not showing correctly on transmogrified items. If you're a long-time player, when you get your first tier sets, any sets really, and you transmog them, you've all had that experience where you go like, well, hold up. My gear set bonus isn't showing up. And then you'll always hear from an older player, did you transmog an item? And you go, yeah. And they'll go, it's still there. That does not make you feel good initially. But it's there. It's just, you got to trust that it's there. So actually, surprisingly good. Select categories now have subcategories for easier filtering of shop items. Yeah, this is good, especially for people who are really into donation shop items. They have like a lot of, fashion items that are like separated by like specific slot that you'd wear them in. So that's nice. Divine Shield. Yeah, I know. It slips you right. It is a rite of passage, but I acknowledge that there's other hurdles that are bigger that are just as much a rite of passage. Laglight. If you'd like to look at the patch notes or follow along, go to turtle-wow.org, click on the forum link. I'll actually show it off right here. Turtle. You go here. You go to the forums. You want to... Is this showing it? I have to go down a little bit to get to the categories. Okay, so from the splash page, you go to up here, forum. When you go to the forums, you'll see a bunch of stuff. You want to go down to patch notes and change logs. you want to look for 1.17.2. The first one starts here, and then this is class and gameplay changes. They're related. But this is the one I'm starting to read on. Yep, no problem. All right. Items available during holidays are now shown first in the respective categories and will have a special badge. Okay, that's nice. The store should feel smoother now. That's happened with some problems, but it's not that big of an issue. It's nice, though. Updated the main game menu escape layout. I don't know what that means, but okay. New button to main game menu dedicated to the Nation Store. I think that's cool. It's not that big of a deal, but all right. This is going to be pretty impactful. Leveling challenges are moved to character creation screen. So now, when you start on Turtle WoW, you don't need to, you know, create your character, then get to level 5 and be like, hey, how do I start the hardcore challenge? And then hear that you have to start over again and do it level 1 and then go talk to the mysterious stranger. Now it's right here. They have some stuff activated for how to turn on and off war mode. Because that's slightly different. But this is great. I think if they integrate it well and it looks something like this, that'll be great for new players. No notes. Oh yeah, this is showing like, hey, like look, they pick certain glyphs and it will say, hey, you have these glyphs. You can see that right there. It's a nice touch. There's a bunch of player model fixes. So one thing you should note that most of these are about goblins. There is always some issues with backporting the Cataclysm goblin models. They have been forever an issue. So, yeah. And also, for any, I just see Easy FNPZ saying it's a nice way. The way to start hardcore felt super weird. That's true. But what I will say was it was a nice touch of immersion that like there's like this guy who's like all creepy being like, hey, do you want to be mortal? It was okay. I just think if you didn't know about it, it was hard to find or just immediately know. I think a lot of times games can do a little bit too much hand holding, but I think this might be a good balance. Someone say troll beard? I don't see troll beard on here. There should be troll beards. That would be nice. This is mostly about a couple updates and mostly has to do tooltips effects, a couple icon fixes. I haven't gotten full confirmation that everything got in, but if you've been following my content, you know that I have made over 100 item icon submissions to have item differentiation happens. I did see someone who was on the PTR testing stuff actually say, hey, what is this? And they were mousing over a ghost mushroom. And I'm like, oh, I see you've discovered one of my icons. Although I didn't make it. It was one of the other artists, but I'm very excited for you guys to see that. Also, that isn't listed here, which I love. By the way, if you think this is everything that's changing, you're wrong, because there's stuff in there that they don't list. Not because they forgot. Sometimes it's like they just don't know. There's so much stuff going in. I think the icon differentiation thing that I pushed forward made it in, but isn't listed here, for instance. There could be other things. But most of this is some pretty general stuff. I mean, yeah, mostly tooltips. This one's been funny. I'm going to miss it. But the portable mailbox makes a horse noise when you drops it. I kind of liked it. And maybe they like the Pony Express, but I I don't know why this ever happened. Charmed creatures, including greater demons, can now critically hit with their spells. Why were they not critically hitting with their spells? It's so weird. But yeah, mostly just small quality of life stuff here. Nothing too crazy here. Item and crafting. Most of this stuff, not too crazy. There was one thing I wanted to point out, though. I mean, I can't tell you how many times they've said they've removed the threat from Strat Holy Water, only for that not to be the case. We'll see if it works this time. Maybe it's down here. Well, this is going to be a big deal. For anyone who actually has Sulphurous, this is a nice touch. If you actually legitimately use Flask Chromatic Resistance, let me know. 25 always seems stupid. Like, for the amount of resources you put in, 50 makes it, I don't know, seems slightly better, maybe? I guess. Couple other ones, though. Embrace of the Wind Serpent. This is pretty, I think this is going to be kind of a big deal. Your landing damage spells have a 15% chance to decay your target, dealing shadow damage. And it reduces their armor. So it could be nice. If you play a Shaman, bless up this one. Oh, we've been waiting a long time for this. If you let me show you something. Let's go to the database. Okay. Don't look at the bottom. Actually, do look at the bottom. I don't care. This item, well, look at what it does. This drops off of a Nax boss. It's meant to be like one of the best relics a Resto Shaman could get. Do you think that looks good? I don't even think you need to play a healer to look at that and go, regain up to. You don't even get a full 10. It's up to 10. Man, each time you cast Lesser Healing Wave. Alright, well, assumingly you'd be casting the max rank, right? So how much is that? Oh, it would change it from 380 to 370. Wow, those are savings. The Totem of Flowing Water has been like such a meme of a joke that to see it get some actual... To see it get anything is just so nice. Your water... So now it's going to... Instead of doing that terrible thing that does nothing, now your water totems grant party members within 30 yards of you a unique effect depending on your totem. Depending on the totem. Healing Stream increases healing done and taken by 2%. That's huge. That alone is huge. Then, Mana Spring Totem. Each pulse has a 10% chance to restore 1% mana, 4 rage, and 10 energy. Gigantic. Because also if you play Shaman, you probably know, even if you spec into it, Mana Spring is kind of underwhelming. Cleansing Totem, so that's your disease and poison cleansing totem. It just gives you a flat chance to resist those effects happening on you. That's better than I thought. And then Fire Resistance Totem, which is a water totem, reduces fire damage taken by 3%. Wow. Who would have thought? Yeah, so I mean, just the only sad thing is how many Nax teams I have seen take that and like practically throw it on the ground out of disgust. No one has it. If you're a Shaman, you probably have multiple gear sets, so your bank's full. You're not wasting a bank slot on that trash. Now you're like, oh, now I want to get it. So good luck getting it. all my shaman friends out there. They have some other adjustments going to some other gear. Another one I wanted to point out that was kind of a big deal. So Band of Sulphurous can now be molded into its true form using the ring with a sulfuron ingot next to a black forge. Doing so will turn it into a true Band of Sulphurous. Now we don't know what that is or what it does, but I want to show, where is he? Band of Sulph. So, this ring is kind of just like a really good early progression ring if you're a caster. It actually has a lot of int on it, so you might keep it around for farming and stuff. I know my elemental shaman had it, but has gotten rid of it. My mage still has it, just for like, oh, it's a lot of int. I'll keep it for lasher farming or whatever. I really want to see what this makes, though. Sagaball, what if I told you I already have? Remember, I need a nature resist set, I have a fire resist set, I have healing and elemental, and then I need penetration, spell penetration, and then I need like a crit set, but then I also need like a hit set. It gets deep. You need a lot of gear space for hybrids. And I'm not even a tank. Tanks have it the worst, so. So, I can't wait to see what this is, what this becomes. This is another pretty impactful one. Also probably affecting shamans as well, because shamans are the only one who would probably ever keep this. We'll take a look at the Warmth of Forgiveness here. So, the only reason shamans keep this generally is for like fights that are like really long fights, because you get more mana out of MP5 the longer a fight is, and shamans traditionally stack MP5. Most other healers, except for maybe druids, might. Even then, it's kind of a hit or miss. This thing is essentially a shard of the scale with an on use. I have a shard of the scale, so I got this and I got rid of the shard of the scale because this is just that. But with this, they are going to add healing power to it and reducing the cooldown, meaning it's actually pretty good. It's not like Rejuve gem level, I think, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. There's also a couple other things in here that I think could merit some more focus. The Whirlwind Sword's kind of one of them. They're changing some of the nature resistant stuff to make a little bit more sense for when you're progressing in AQ. There was a big fix for Gilligim, Lapidus, and even Telebim as far as like the rewards that the quest givers give you, as well as see some the quests themselves got some adjustments. That's all here. I wanted to take a quick stop right here. You guys know I'm not a huge PvPer. However, I can tell you right now that this is going to be a big deal. So the first one is increase item levels from 78 to 83. And what that means internally for the itemization team is that they can put more stuff on it when the budget gets kind of padded out. And when that happens, it gets more good things. More good things means more gooder raider, generally, or PvPer too. Pretty much to an item, every single one of these got more stamina. Almost all of them got more stamina. Some of them got more things like strength here from like certain items. Spellblade got more intellect, more spell power. These are substantial buffs, and I think that's great for those that actually got rank 14. Here's more of the soft rework about Lapidus and Gilligim. Most of it is like making the mobs make a little bit more sense for their level area. This is not really a patch change. This is them just talking about like, hey, we're thinking about doing PvP changes. Okay. And then after that, they didn't have a change log last week, They just pushed it off till this patch. So this is where it is. In here, nothing too crazy. I'm pretty sure this is just from people figuring out a new way to cheese Cthulhu Phase 1. The only other one that really caught my eye was that Immortal Champion's Charger was bind on equip before? That seems crazy to me. Yes, a Catasia. Catasia. I can't pronounce that. But yes, I am the radio guy. It's weird when people know me more from the radio than from my streaming. Hello. Because I don't get like numbers on that. I don't know when people are listening. Also, the radio news programming I do is just kind of interspersed in all the radio programming. There's not like a set time to listen to it, so I have no way about who listens to it. So glad you've enjoyed it. I'm hoping you did. I'm sorry, that's very conceited. You might hate the radio stuff. I think it was just the weapons, Genkili. Slips, thank you. I hope, I don't know what's on the YouTube, on Everlook Radio yet, but hopefully it is. What was I think there was one other. I had to ask Paladins about what this means. So, I didn't know this, but did you know, so, okay, if you've never played a Paladin, you can understand my confusion. So, like, I know of Repentance, the thing that makes you incapacitated or stunned or whatever. What I didn't know is that if you're immune to incapacitate, you take damage? I never heard of that. I guess it's something they use to make it useful in PvE encounters with bosses and stuff who are immune. So now this allows the dot to happen even if they resist repentance, which I don't know. I guess that seems good, but it's golf. I don't know. I get regular updates. I still have one I have to check through and ask Scenario some questions on, but I do not have a date. Or even an idea of when a date would be. Alright, so that was that stuff. Now we'll go to the meat. We'll go to the meat. I'm probably going to linger longer on classes that I understand. That being said, I know this is a big deal. Is this a big... Druids, is this a big deal? I feel like this is a big deal. Okay, Anarian. I asked in Discord and it sounded, from what I understood, bosses could resist it, and if they did, if they fully resisted it, they would get none of the damage, but now it will apply the damage regardless, I guess. But seriously, Druids, I feel like this is a big deal. It might mess up your macros? I don't know. To provide a more fluid way of changing between forms, we're enabling the function to change forms while already being shapeshifted. This is already more or less possible through macro play, but we want to level the playing field. I think this is a good move from a non-druid player. I did play Boomkin a little bit in TVC. Didn't do a lot of power shifting there, but I understand what this means. I think this is cool. I don't have much more to say other than that, because I just don't know enough about this. Maybe this is a nice quality of life thing, but I know it's a big deal. So, looks like some buffs are going out for Feral Druids. I know they've been doing a couple things around the sides to buff their damage to help them keep up with the Jones, so to say. I think that's fine. I'm still, like, incensed by the fact that Pounce still gives them a combo point and a bleed, even though stun immune targets can... If you've heard me talk about this, you know where I'm at with it, but I still don't understand that change. Anyway. More buffs for Feral. This is a good quality of life. It always felt weird that Moonkin, which is like a graduation of Balance Druid into something even more balancy, they couldn't do Mark or Gift of the Wild without shapeshifting out. I'm like, okay. Like, I guess because it's a resto spell? I would guess. I don't think this is gonna really cause that much of a brouhaha, but there we go. Do not know. Do not understand, but I believe it. As a caster aficionado, I think this might be a bigger deal. I don't see Hurricane used a lot. I know there are encounters where Moonkin would like more reliable AoE. I don't know if going from 30 to 10 is going to make a huge difference without changing the scaling of Hurricane, but I don't know where the scaling is at with Hurricane. Because as I understand it, a lot of Boomkins will generally focus their bonus damage onto Arcane. And even then, if they don't, they could do Nature a little bit. But a channeled spell like that, the spell coefficient isn't great anyway. So I don't know. I think it's good for Boomkins to have more ready access to AoE either way. I don't think this is going to make them like top dog for trash. I think it's just going to be allow them to help with trash, but yeah. This looks just like a fix. Looks like that looks like a bit of an adjustment that might still help Feral. And Arcane in Nature damage bonus increases from 25 to 30 with Eclipse. Eclipse, I think, is their new capstone thing they use a lot. I see this cool, like, little moon particle effect go over them. I think that's what they're doing. I don't know if they need that. I mean, I have a bad sample size. My raid group has, like, this absolute pumper Boomkin Duathwi, who's usually, like, our top DPS. So seeing this, I'm like, cool. Cool. Yay. Now I'm even further behind, but no, that's cool. I did go through, I know a decent amount about Mage. Most of the changes here weren't too crazy. The Arcane Rupture changes make having Arcane Rupture at lower levels a little bit more doable. Costas asks, do you think that in the patch that's being implemented right now that we will get database lootables for Caraforda, or will we get them 3 days when raid releases? I mean, we'll be lucky if we get them with when Karazhan releases, because knowing the team, they'll still hold out. They still want people to search and explore stuff, but don't quote me on that. Risk, we have not. I'm just going based on what was listed. This is actually kind of a funny one. I've actually played enough. I've gone raiding with as a fire mage a good number of times, and with the new hot streak bonus. And so if you get 5 stacks, I think you're supposed to wait till 4 for like the best cast time or whatever. I don't know, but if you get 5 stacks, it takes your spell cast is less than a global cooldown, so it'll like mess up your key presses. So this is just kind of a funny one that they actually put in. Flash freeze. This is a PvP change, I think. Because I'm pretty sure Flash freeze is the thing where when a mage does Frost Nova and you're immune, they get a free, really quick icicle spells. In PvP, that'll burst you down quick. Doesn't matter who you are, it'll burst you. So that's probably what this is about. Spell damage taken reduction increased from 2 to 3. Healing damage taken reduction decreased from 1 to 2. I think they're trying to push more of the dampen amplify magic. They say so here anyway. They admit that it was too weak for practical usage even with their arcane attunement buff version, so we're giving them a boost to better fit their roles. We'll see if they have a role in the meta, but it's been interesting to watch that get changed over time. Now, this has a lot to do with arcane mages. I think I personally disagree with this one, but maybe I'm not. Maybe I haven't done enough arcane. I have done some, even in Nax. I'm not like I've been asked to go on my mage for some reasons, but you know, I think a lot of mages in the community kind of felt like they were hamstrung by needing a certain set bonus to make arcane viable because they needed to use arcane power, which is true. You do need arcane power to like get those big numbers, but I think how harsh the mana penalty was on it was kind of a big deal. So they made the tier 3/6 set, which was giving the mana reduction while using arcane power thing lessened, so that, I mean, this change to it alone is going to make it more doable, so you won't blow yourself up. It is serious. It is a real problem. I have blown myself up in raid because I wasn't paying attention, but really, like, from my experience, if you get close, drink a mana pot. If you don't have your potion off cooldown, don't pop arcane power. That's been my go-to rule of thumb. Yeah. New arcane power is suicide without set bonus. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Chris. Like, I've popped it. You pop it early when you're at full mana. You ask for blessings from the RNG gods, and then you're done. You might die, you might not. If you get close, there's a thing you can do, which is you can stop casting. Every time you cast, that's a choice. It's meant to be a risk reward. If you take away all of the risk, I don't feel like you should have the reward. I don't think that's crazy to say. I say, and I've played mage for a long time. Obviously, the arcane mage stuff is new for me, but that's just kind of my vibe on it. But you can tell me otherwise. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. That's just how I feel. They've made a lot of stuff with the fire mage stuff cost a lot less. This is huge. For really protracted fights for fire mages, kind of an issue. You do kind of go even with evocate, which is really the only way you can get along, but if you're evocating, you just lost all that uptime. It's good and it's bad, but I think this will be good. This will encourage more use of Flame Strike, because a lot of times that's what holds it back. So I'll be happy to see what happens here. Hunter, do not play Hunter. I will try to understand what's going on here. I will intuit it with my mind. Okay, wait, they tell me. These reductions are primarily aimed at leveling. Okay, cool. They made leveling stuff smoother. While this capstone talent made fire traps an integral part of the survival hunter rotation, it didn't accommodate for this, as the fire trap mana cost ends up being too high when used on cooldown. This change should help alleviate. Okay, I think that's a nice touch. Savage Strikes. So pretty much everything here was just about survival. Yep, primarily aimed at survival. Okay. Oh, sweet. I have to spend 5 points as a rogue to get twice that. Unfair. I'd be interested to see if this is going to really push the needle for two one-handed survival hunters. I say that because I'm a big fan of Rexar. He has 2 axes. Hopefully this changes stuff. If you play a hunter and you feel any particular way, definitely let me know. But okay, another class I don't know enough about, but they explained most of them here. And every single one of them had like a good little note after them. Here's one that's going to affect a lot of people, at least on Nordinar, and half the people on Telebim. Current tank threat generation significantly outpaces DPS output. Reducing the effectiveness of Blessing of Salvation restores the importance of active threat management during combat. I'm curious if this one's going to fly under the radar. This could mean, as an elemental shaman main, this could be problematic. Tranquil Air sounds like it's still 30%. Yes, but it's still limited to your group. That would be nice. I do know that Salvation and Tranquil Air have a stacking effect. It's not 1-to-1, but they work off of each other, so. Thank you, Mr. Rude Buoy, for your input. I had no idea, so. Looks like Vindication got a buff. Neat. Hybrid builds. Slips, let's be honest, they were already getting that. You were getting that before Salvation. Remember to tip your tanks to taunt. They increased the spell power scaling of Seal of Righteousness. I thought they kind of got rid of the spell ret. It seems like they might be resurrecting it. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. So. All right, they're reducing inconsistency with Judgment of Command. And Judgment of... Alright, that looks good. I didn't even know Eye for an Eye was a talent. Neat. Vengeance. Retribution Paladins face significant drawbacks when off-tanking due to the innate threat reduction Vengeance. This change ensures that no talent actively hinders the Paladin's ability to perform their role, proving off-tanking viability and creating new builds opportunity for the protection tree. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad that they're dipping their toes into letting hybrid classes that can do off-tanking have better ways of doing it. I think that's nice. Reckoning has struggling to provide sufficient value for the talent points invested. Wait, isn't Reckoning the one that like lets them smack you really hard in PvP? I feel like that's the one. Oh no. Oh, it's in protection, so maybe that's why I don't see it a lot. I don't know. There's my super not well-informed stuff about Paladin. I know a little bit more about Priest because I'm married to like a Priest main. Smite spell power scale increased by about 5% for all ranks. What? Okay, so wreck bombs are a thing. Okay, I remember hearing about those. I think it was back in Classic. I think it's like where you save up charges and then you just explode on someone. I think that's how it worked. I don't know how it worked, but I remember that. So it looks like a lot of the stuff, almost everything here is about Smite Priests. It's about their DPS. Healing doesn't need a lot, but increasing spell power scaling is kind of a big deal for Smite Priests. Out of the gate, their stuff wasn't working right, and they were way too far ahead. And then they fixed it, and they've kind of been a little bit underperforming, but they've been performing well as like this sort of healing hybrid spell buffer, I know, for a lot of raids. especially those that are like not progressing anymore. So it'll be nice to see them do a little bit more damage. Pretty much these changes, I heard this a lot from Murag. Chastised ended up struggling to be worth its global cooldown. Yes, that exactly is what happened. No, Jose, we haven't got to rogues. I don't think I missed them yet. Pain Spike, spell power scale increase from 25 to 43. So this is the developer saying, we nerfed it at first, then we realized we nerfed it too hard. That's literally what they say here. And I'm kind of glad to see the team say like, okay, we got one wrong. And that's good. That shows that they're developing. Swap the talent locations for spell warding. Excuse me. And Blessed Concentration. Shadow Priest struggle quite a bit with build diversity since we've moved Blessed Concentration to the Holy Talent Tree. We've moved this location to make the latter talent more accessible and enable a wider variety of builds in the player versus player environment. I don't know what kind of effect this is going to have on PvP. I think Blessed Concentration is like a spell pushback one, and this is like an anti-spell damage one. So, chance to trigger from heals. Enlighten. So, I do know originally a lot of the people that were pushing for Smite Priest didn't want Enlighten to proc from heals at all because they wanted to avoid what happened previously with Priests, where they would just ignore the Holy Tree and just become Power Infusion Priests, which sort of made Holy lose its reason for existing. They still allowed Enlighten to exist off of heals. Now they're reducing that, and it seems like they might slowly be coming to that conclusion. So they are dialing it back. They want to encourage the use of Holy Champion. If they wanted to encourage the use of Holy Champion, they should give more reasons. I mean, Holy Champion has a lot in its toolkit. It's very versatile, but it just doesn't give like a flat spell damage increase like the current discipline setup does. So I think as it stands for progression and for priests that aren't quite comfortable with it yet, I think Deep Holy is the way to go. If you're more comfortable with your gearing and willing to spend a little bit more on mana consumables, it's probably better for your spell damage. Not yours necessarily, but also other people's. Yeah. Hello, Lizard. Yes. Many people are excited. I don't normally stream on Monday. I normally do news for Turtle WoW. And, well, I can't play right now. So we just taking it straight to the patch notes. I am quite invested in Shaman. What I say here might be a little long-winded. Strap in. First off, I love to see this. Shaman's popularity as a class keeps growing as it attracts more players who are interested in the damage dealer aspects of the class and players interested in its benefits as a healer. Also, they can tank now. That's kind of a big deal, but alright, go off, King. So, my understanding is that most of these changes, sadly for me, not for the enhancements. But they're for enhancements, but I play Elemental, so most of it's like Elemental focus mana cost reduction now also affects Storm Strike and Lightning Strike. This should have always been the case, I feel. I know enhancements are struggling a lot with mana. This is good to see. I think it's going to help them. This is interesting. I want to see what their reasoning for this is. We hope to address some of enhancement's mana issues and its overbearing reliance on classes capable of providing boosts to mana regeneration, as their absence often signifies a drastic drop in gameplay quality and flow over longer encounters, while remaining a critical point of leveling as a spec. The reduction to Lightning Strike's cooldown, though minor, should directly increase its role as both a efficient, engaging contributor to enhancements, damage dealer, and mana regeneration roll. I think this is a small measure, but the nature part of the ability now grants damage equal to 5% of your spell power. This seems like this would encourage a little bit more of the old spell enhancement. Just a little bit. There's not really a good build for it, but I want to make it work someday. But Bloodlust. Attack and casting speed granted to party members on critical strike increases from 5 to 8, and its duration increased from 5 to 6. Attack and casting speed granted to the caster increased from 15 to 20. The attack and casting speed granted to party members on critical strike is no longer applied to the caster itself. Yep, it seems like based on the developer comment, they want small incremental pushes on this because Bloodlust is very strong, admittedly. And so I think this is the right measure to take. We'll see how it goes in the future. This is a PvP adjustment, and even though I play Shaman, I don't play much PvP, but I still think this is a fair one. Since 1.17, I think. Since the 1.16.2, all Shaman totems have been off of global cooldown. Each element has its own cooldown, so if you try pressing Searing Totem and Searing Totem, you'll have to wait. But each element has its own, essentially, GCD. However, things like Fire Nova Totem and Grounding Totem, little nutty to not have on the GCD. I think most Shamans knew that was very strong. I think this is fair. I think if you want to drop a Grounding Totem, you should either... It shouldn't be like last second. Like you should have some planning before dropping it. So, oh yeah, Lizard. It's quite interesting. Northern and Telebim, they're very fun places to try stuff out. You know, my advice is always take it slow, have fun. I hope you do. Enhancement tier 3 6-set bonus. I don't know what this is, but I'm assuming this is good. Again, nothing for Elemental. Very sad, but now we're to Warlock. Don't know. I know a little bit about Warlock. I know most of it because I know about spellcasting, but I'm not a big Warlock aficionado. This is kind of whatever, but this one's gonna be a big deal, I think, for those Warlocks that are trying to make Affliction a thing. And what we have here is an Affliction Warlock can just apply the curse that they're applying, and they get their Curse of Agony as well. That's an extra GCD they have. That's going to be a big deal for them. And as their Affliction, if they have Malediction, they're already pretty deep in Affliction. So this is going to be a big deal for them. Might actually help them do better on the damage charts or what have you. So that's cool. Total spell power scaling has been increased from 50 to 100. I think this is going to make Warlock stronger in PvP, but what do I know? Now increases the haste by 30% instead of 20 and resets its cooldown if its target dies during its channel. Okay. Alright, that's fine. Not sure what effect that might have. Now causes the work to pay 30% trade for helps. Okay. Yeah. That might seem fair. Demonic sacrifice now removed when you enslave a demon. The goal behind this change is to encourage more strategic choices for deep demonology when it comes to controlling demons. Instead of having a simple number increase for the cooldown spec, controlling a demon goes against the demonic sacrifice precursor talent Soul Entrapment too. We'll keep looking into finding a way to make this unique talent rewarding. I'm glad Turtle WoW is sticking to their guns. I know Warlocks haven't been exactly thrilled with their changes to demons and greater demons and making that part of the gameplay loop. I agree with Turtle WoW's perspective on it, and I'm glad they're sticking to their guns and still trying to make it work. I know not every Warlock's feeling the same way. I don't play a Warlock, so Maybe I feel differently, but it looks like some more stuff dealing with demons that I don't understand. Oh, yeah. I mean, Lizard, not to encourage you just to do this, but you can make as many accounts as you want, so make as many as you'd like. As many Gmail accounts as you can think of. Hello, Technomad. Imp's Firebolt ability hit now. Now the following scaling with spell power. I think this is good. I would think it'd be better if I got that on my Searing Totem, but hey. I will say it's a little suspect to be like, we're going to be closely monitoring Imp's power level, and like, you're releasing the raid now. You sure you don't want to? All right, you're good. Okay, see, I knew Risk would come in. I knew Risk would come in with some facts. I believe Murog's home. I will be right back. I need to help her with the groceries. I will be right back. Okay, we're back. No Murog aggro. You love to see it. Risk is saying they're basically saying they don't know how the scaling of it works correctly. So, what was the scaling previously? As I don't know the values on that. I don't even know the. Actually, I think I do know the values of Searing Totem scaling. I have it noted down somewhere, but I've seen it. I know it exists. I would really love if my Searing Totem got hit talent from me, but it doesn't. What's it like to have a talent to allow your little... I mean, to be fair, your version of Searing Totem as a Warlock does a little bit more dancing around, more chatting. But mine, you know what mine does that yours doesn't? Pulls stuff when I don't want it to. I mean, you can, if you leave yours on aggressive, it will do that, but guess what? Searing Totems, they don't have an off button. You put them down, it's like, I'm gonna kill anything. Oh, okay, so Risk, is what you're saying is that initially it was too high, and then when they did Warlock changes, they nerfed it too hard, and now they're putting it back to what they think it was? It's a classic Turtle Wow move. I definitely know Warlocks have been struggling on the streets. You think it's half of what it was in the beginning? Okay. Well, my understanding is that most warlocks would just sacrifice. Well, for what's like DS Ruin, you guys would just sacrifice like a succubus. Would there be a world where you guys would ever want to keep your imp out? Outside of like Ragnaros, obviously you wouldn't, but yes. Jose, I have bad news. I don't think they've heard my pleas for a poison vendor pet. I mean, Risk. I'm not gonna. I don't really have a dog in this fight. What I will say is, I think the base logic of wanting to move warlocks away from just being a shadow bolt machine gun, slow shadow bolt machine gun, is a good one. I like what they're trying to inject. I think a lot of warlocks are understandably dooming about it because in the near term, while they essentially experiment with stuff, it means the class isn't as powerful. But I think ultimately it's paving the way for a brighter warlock future, if that makes any sense. You know, it's little consolation, of course, but like I think in the long run it'll be good. But you know, keeping the vanilla flavor of Warlock while also not breaking it completely is a challenge. And I think it's... I understand why there's pain points, and I think the Warlock community is definitely valid in a lot of things they're saying. But I think a lot of these adjustments, like we've been seeing in some of the dev notes, they're even saying like, yeah, we went too far with this thing, like they did with the Shadow Priest stuff. And they're like, okay, we're going back on that. I think it's good. Wait. Oh, so hold on. I just forgot to. I didn't say thank you to Kohelo-san for following. Thank you. And now 24 Sven EU. Thank you for follow. And when you say all pets risk, do you mean Syrian? Can Syrian totems join? Can they? Because they're kind of like pets, right? Imagine if we got like better scaling. We don't get spell pen or hit, so we'll never have that. You know, fish. I have long been hitting the drum of like, you guys need more QA. You guys need more testers. Just get some neckbeards in. Have them scream for a while. Don't reveal new content. Just like have like a... You guys like remember the X-Men? They have like the danger room where all they do is fight stuff. Like have that. like seriously. Have them figure out a way to break things. That's all. The only problem with community-oriented stuff like that is that when they find something's broken, they'll be like, if it's in their favor, they'll be like, shh, don't tell anyone. They don't gotta know. That's the only bad part. Otherwise, yeah. Anyway, we're jumping over to Rogue. Jose, if you're not watching, now you should watch because we're talking about Rogue. I know you want to see Rogue. I remember I did read through these. Indeed, it is mostly about assassination. So, I want to first start up by saying this one isn't assassination. This one is subtlety. This is hemorrhage. This is kind of a big deal. Like, as it was, hemorrhage was already much stronger than it was before. Because initially, it just added a flat damage bonus for the hemorrhage stacks you have. Every melee hit would remove a stack. With Class Change 2, they changed the flat damage amount and just made it a percentage. Scaling's always good, right? Scaling's good. Then, they also gave it more charges. That's also really good. Now they increased the scaling. Now, if you go subtlety, you're probably not going to do nearly as good as combat or even assassination for damage, but you will be buffing your melee way more than ever before. And I think this is just pushing that envelope a little bit more. I've tried subtlety buffing rogue out quite a bit in Emerald Sanctum, where there's like an ideal fight, which is the boss dragon, because you just get to wail on him for like a couple minutes, right? And the returns on that are pretty good. My damage is not good, but the returns on it are good. So yeah, I'm very interested in this change. I wonder if it's going to kind of tip the scales a little bit more towards Hemo Rogues. Subtlety buffing spec, we'll see. I just feel bad for Deadly Throw. Deadly Throw was in Class Change 1, and then it was changed multiple times, I think. And then Class Change 2, it was moved over to Assassination, and they're changing it again. So before, it was a finisher. Now it no longer spends combo points, so we know it's not a finisher. It doesn't say it builds combo points, so it's neither of those. It looks like it's just an interrupt. It costs more energy than a kick, which is 25, but it's at range, so okay, fair enough. It deals 100% weapon damage. I'm assuming that's of the thrown weapon. Barzani, thank you for the follow. I mean, this is very, very PvP-y, but a ranged interrupt's good for whoever has it. Mages have one, it's very good. Shamans have it, it's very good. Paladins have their little repentance. Not really an interrupt, but it's good, right? And that's like one of the only range abilities they have. They're very powerful in PvP. So I would love to see this ability finally find a good home. I am curious. This has to be based off the weapon damage of the thrown weapon, though, right? It has to be. Deadly Throw is okay for the extra mob that run off in fear. Yeah. I mean, Jose, you should be using Crippling Poison if they're running. Let's be honest. We have that. It's very strong. So, but yeah, you shouldn't, like, yeah, you just use a throwing weapon. I guess if you have an ability now that separately does additional damage, it could be worth it if you're worried that you're not going to do enough damage. What I'm also curious about here, so here's something to think about too. Counterspell, Earth Shock, Repentance, ranged interrupts, right? They happen instantly. When you click the button, the spell hit. This is a thrown weapon. Everything about the flavor of this makes me think that they won't receive the damage until the weapon hits them. If that's how the interrupt works, it's going to be a lot less valuable. If for some reason it doesn't work like that, then it's very strong. We'll see how it works out, but I'm very curious. And they actually do have some ninja stars, actually, Saga Ball, that they've added. It's kind of fun. An offhand boomerang would be sick with an... Yeah, well, I mean, they do have Lincoln's boomerang, I think, in the game. Jose, I will not be a slave to Crippling Poison. Then you will be a slave to mobs pulling other mobs, friend. That is the way of things. So the developer's comment says, Deadly Throw has been the underdog of finisher abilities for a long time. That's a weird way of saying not used. I mean, what do I know? I don't do enough PvP. Maybe people used it in PvP. I don't know, but I never used it on Rogue Rag in any of its iterations. I think I used it once to see what it would do. I feel silly for training it. So they're giving it a complete makeover. Again, this is another case where I actually respect the turtle teams sticking to their guns. They want to make this work. I'm glad they're trying different things. It's a good approach. I don't even disagree with this. I just... Finding the right niche is hard. They actually made... Sorry, I see Lax Elves being positive. Let's go. Let's go. Positivity from Lax Elves? Oh my goodness. Making it an alternative to kick for cases you can't reach a caster in time with a slightly shorter interrupt duration. Again, kick is instant. Is this going to be instant? Additionally, throwing specialization was reworked to interact with your poisons, as most talents in the assassination tree do. Allowing... So this is also another good thing. So obviously, if you play combat, there's like a tier in combat that's just full of just weapon skills, which is great. But they made weapon skill thrown weapon skill bonus like a thing too. Then they in CC2 they just stuck it over in assassination. And I'm just like, I was on class scout, so I'm like, why? Okay. I could even see the flavor of that being correct, but So, and where it says sharing a cooldown with kick is okay. Traps the target for 3 seconds baseline. I don't see how it interacts with poison. Oh no, here it is. So if you spec into it, the chance to apply your offhand poison instead of an increasing proc chance for 3 second interrupt per combo point spent. Range increase remains the same. Okay, I mean, this could move the needle a little bit. Andrew Tristan, it was posted yesterday? Yesterday. Icy Grills, you are so excited you can vomit. Do not vomit on me. Please. You have to judge every other build you can think of against, is this worth giving up weapon skill and surprise attack? So, like, I think that's more of a question of how much damage you think you can do or how much damage you can help others do, generally. No, I feel you. I feel you. You're good. All right. We also have... So these two things, in the meta before this, Assassination with the poison builds was kind of... It's kind of apples to oranges, but it's a little bit like Arms versus Fury, and I say that in that Fury, in certain circumstances, does more damage. Arms, in other circumstances, does more damage. I think combat was more dominant, but I think this is gonna help cover that gap a little bit. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna be interested to watch along with this. It's kind of funny because like my toon Vrograg, who's a rogue, has Thunder Fury. I can't not use that, right? Even if I have an axe, like if I have like Hatchet of Sundered Bone, like once you get Thunder Fury, you have to use it. So like I can't. Some of these specs I'm not gonna really try out. Like I might like experiment with them, but I'm not gonna like try to go to a raid and like seriously, because like, you know, it's almost insulting to the guild that I got Thunder Fury with to be like, you know what, guys? I know I've been using Thunder Fury, but I kind of want to goof around with daggers for a little bit. Wouldn't that be funny? Remember a couple years ago when I used like all of your Elementium ingots and stuff? Remember that? Yeah? And I got 2 bindings. No, I'm gonna use daggers now. I cannot, like, I know players that could, but I couldn't. Risk, if you think that's bad, imagine being Murog, who has now done about 75-ish Emerald Sanctum runs and has not gotten an enchant. Which doesn't even give her a legendary. And she had to do the raid when it really sucked before they did scaling. Rest in peace, Murog. Maybe one day you'll get the enchant. Oh yeah, that's true. No tailing pattern either. So anyway, I'm just saying, this is going to be something to watch for rogues. I don't know if it's going to move the needle. Combat's still pretty strong. It's in a strong position right now with the improvements to Blade Flurry. Surprise attack helping get combo points when you need them. And that added utility of having, I guess if you went Assassination, you'd probably be able to get IEA, but the point stands. Oh, Sakabal, that is tough. I have really been encouraging the team to maybe like, hey, maybe when Kara comes out, you guys buff the drop chance like a little? Like a little? Just a little bit. No, like go from like 1 to 2% or like 1 to 5%. Imagine, that'd be so crazy. Imagine. All right, for Warrior, do not. Wow, that was brief. Okay, just. Oh, this comes to news to no one. According to the developers, all Warrior specializations are currently in a strong position, with each seeing consistent play across all forms of content. We are pleased with the overall performance of Warriors. Job done. Drop the mission accomplished banner. We're good here. Warriors receive nothing. Oh wait, they still change stuff, but given Warriors' well-documented scaling potential, the new raid loot may further enhance their power. Does anyone else read this like a threat? Given Warriors' well-documented scaling potential, the new raid loot may further enhance their power. So why aren't there a bunch of nerfs? I'm scared. Mandalore, help. He's not gonna help. I think my cat in another life was a warrior main, so this kind of makes sense. He gets really vocal when I start talking about warriors. I think it's because his name's Mandalore, which means warrior, I think.
That's not because I just got.
No help from the Meowser? Nope. Nah, Mandalore's not scared. He's not scared of anything. Except for me when he knocks over something. Oreo or chocolate chip milkshake? I'd probably go Oreo. I'm kind of a little bummed that there isn't mint in it, if I'm being honest. How many times are they going to change Concussion Blow? It's like they really want Concussion Blow to be a thing. It's just another one where they're sticking to their guns. I don't know how Warriors feel about Concussion Blow. But however you feel about it, I know it's been changed a lot. Improved Pummel now applies a normal 50% movement speed reduction instead of a daze effect, and its application chance is increased from. Oh. While we've liked the interaction of the slow applied by improved Pummel being more sticky against players, it proved to be problematic, so we're changing it to a normal slow and guaranteeing its application when fully talented to make up for this change. I wasn't aware of this, because I don't do PvP. What this do? What this do? I don't. What does that mean? I know it's only good in PvP, but will this get them to stop complaining about the hamstring? They like to complain about hamstring. I still don't understand that. That's because every time a warrior starts talking to me, I see yellow. Because I like playing rogue, and I'm tired of hearing warriors complain about stuff as they become the top melee DPS and the top melee tank. Well, rogue, who can only do DPS, in melee, and only job is to do, like, only thing they can do is melee damage. And we just live in their shadow. But that's okay. That's where rogues live. We live in the shadows, I guess. What? I can't keep up Flourish forever, Johnny. They made sure of that. Now I can't be unhittable anymore. And it was toxic. It was a toxic time to be a rogue. Even I'll admit it. Well, yeah, that's true. They started as top tank, and then they continued being top tank. Although I would say for threat, there are certainly good contenders with bears. Bears being able to do some stuff. Even some paladins, especially on undead. On undead, I think paladins are hard to keep up with, honestly. Because they have that, what is that one called? I don't know. I know paladins have something that they smack undead with that just makes them get mega threat. Exorcism, thank you. I think warrior tanks do have, warrior and even ferals have trouble keeping up with that. You know, Andrew, I don't have to read the manual to know rogues are supposed to be top DPS. I look at their design. They have very limited AoE. They have very reduced armor, and you still put them in melee. There's a cost. There's like a risk and a reward, right? So you're risking everything to not do top DPS. What's going on? You know, Saga Ball, I mean, that's stuff that I brought up. And for anyone who doesn't know, like, I used to do rogue tanking. I was, like, unhittable in Vesuvius and Patchwork. Because of the CC1 changes. that wasn't good. It was the only way rogues could really do tanking was in these very niche encounters. And even though I was a little miffed, I think it's fine that it's not that way anymore, but I have so many ideas, like, on how rogue tanking could, like, have some mitigation, still be hittable, still have, like, an off-tank role. But during class council, I mean, I was happy to hang my hat up about rogue tanking to just be like, you know what? Subtlety and assassination need love, like they do. And I was happy to just be like, whatever. Like, the rogue tanking thing isn't that big of a deal. I would rather see these specs have, like, better identities and have more to them. Because, like, before class change 2, what was the point of vigor? You know? And, like, deep subtlety had nothing to do really with PvE, and then PvP, it had very niche uses. I mean, you pretty much just got prep just for the stun locking. But now, like, it has much more of a more fleshed out kind of feel to it. Yeah, Connor, I've heard a lot of people bring up monk tanking when talking about rogue. I never did it, but I've heard it enough to think to just, when I see it mentioned, be like, yes, that's true. Assassination identity is still a bit fuzzy, but subtlety, flavor, direction is really strong now. So, Sega Ball, and I talked to Jamie about this at some point, but I'm like, yeah, assassination has a better identity after the third row, because the first 3 rows are still like the utility picks for subtlety and combat. So it kind of feels weird, like, why is blade tactics in assassination? That feels very combat-y. In some of the other stuff is kind of like, well, I guess. Yeah, Adarheim. I'm not going to be like one of those hipsters and being like, Turtle-Eye was doing it before it was cool, but Turtle-Eye was doing it before it was cool. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. Thank you for the follow. Oh, did I say? Yeah. Barzani and Easy Pickens, thank you. Yeah, like, before retail vanilla whatever they've been limping into the barn with. Before y'all had actual permadeath hardcore, Turtle WoW had that, like long before. It was kind of a joke that in the original like Blizzard hardcore servers, or you just had like a little buff that would just disappear when you died. That's not hardcore. Anyway, I'm getting kind of sidetracked here, but yeah, and what it was like, I want to say early 2023. I was like mid 2023 maybe. I was tanking Vesuvius and Patchwork. Sorry, I should say I was doing Hateful Strike soaking on Patchwork and tanking Vesuvius. Andrew Trishton says, I personally feel like the change to pummel makes me not care about hamstring so much. Does that mean the Warriors will stop whining about it? I would love that. Weedy S says, I'm shammy tanking and having fun. First off, congratulations. You figured out the point of the game, to have fun. Is that absolutely not viable? It's way more viable than it was in vanilla, and before class changes 2, and before class changes 1. It's in probably the best state it's ever been in, like a vanilla-esque server. My understanding with Shaman tanking is that it relies in late game very much on a 5-set tier 2.5, which is unfortunate. Because like there's like a mitigation effect in there that is very needed for like Nax bosses. But I only know what Shock Warden tells me. And WeDS, if you ever have a chance, if you ever see someone by the name of Shock Warden posting in the Shaman channel, that is the godfather of Shaman tanking on the server, on Northern R at least. Pick his brain. He has a lot of good information to share, and he raids with Nater, which is essentially like an organized pug group. He's a great dude. I will never stop singing Shock Warden's praises. Also, you get to hear him in Discord. His voice will kind of like make you go to sleep. It's very nice. I mean, Adderheim, I would say define viable. I think, I'm pretty sure Shock Warden, before class changes too, Shock Warden made a point of tanking every single boss in the axe. So if viable means possible, then yes. If viable means like an okay strategy that doesn't like completely hamstring the raid group, I think that might be a little tougher. And also take it fight by fight, right? So Saffron, who absolutely slaps, or Patchwork, who if you're doing Hateful Strike soaking, you need to be on point as a shaman, right? With your cooldowns, everything. It's doable, but you either need a very good healer core or like perfect group comp, I think, to make it a little bit more comfortable. But it's totally possible and very doable, I think would be the best way of putting it. I think warriors with half as much effort could probably do the same thing with just 4-set tier 3, because they just get mitigation for free. But yeah. Adrian says, I'll be re-rolling a hardcore goblin warrior with a mustache after my current character. Looking forward to it. I'm excited for you, man. Also, can we also, let's go back and appreciate that artwork of that goblin rogue. Where was it? Look at this little guy. He He's trying to hug you. Thank you for the follow, Boris Gamboa. I mean, honestly, WDS Shamans could do tanking in early game dungeons well before class changes 1 or 2. I think the game was designed like that, with that stuff in mind. I'm sorry, I just love this guy. Look at him. And then look at this. She knows. She knows she's screwed. She knows she done messed up. If you've let a rogue that close and you're a mage, it's over. Like, what are you gonna do? She's casting fireballs. You know she doesn't have ice block. You know what I'm saying? You better have a palm poly ready. And even that's not, I mean, that might not fix it either. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Yeah, no, Adrian, all these artworks, this is also part of that main post, the main Tower of Karazhan post. All this artwork is done by someone the team hired, Lionel Schramm. I cannot stop gushing about this artwork. This is supposed to be one of the bosses, Keeper Gnarlmoon, I think, who's like, I think supposed to be a mix between a Fellhound and a Worgen. I mean, god damn. That's some spoopy stuff. Sagaball says, maybe a fat blink palm poly gets you out? Yeah, maybe if the rogue's sleeping. Even I think I could probably figure that one out, and I'm not that good. Exactly, Lizard. Like it's on point. And look at him. He wants to be your friend. Hey, Mr. Dwarf, do you want to be his friend? Like, you look angry, but you don't look like this. Ah, it's so good. I will judiciously check the server. I doubt it's up. And that's not a slight against the team. That's not. I just know how technical what they're doing is. The last post in server status was at 5:59 of server is not up. That was the last update. It is now 8:22 local for me. I think they're still working on it. Yes, Adrian, they did add new races to the loading screen. They had that as part of this this thread here. Oh, let me just see. Oh, come on, go down. See right here? This is going to be the one for Kalimdor. They have another one for High Elves for Eastern Kingdoms. Are you class staff team? No, Ricky. Ricky, I was on class council, which is community members that were advising the team. But I could only advise. And even then my advice wasn't that good. It was more like guiding principles. Yeah, I know, Lizard. I was expecting as much. You can still ask me a question. I mean, I can't answer everything. In that, like, if you ask me something that's like sensitive or protected information, I can't answer, but I can at least try to help you understand the thinking behind something if it's something I have privy knowledge about. Yeah, exactly, Connor. That's why my Nax was canceled tonight. Do I know? No. Here, I mean, I could go in the, here's what I would do, okay? I'm not a developer. I'm not a coder of any renown or skill. I could go look in the dev chat, see that they're saying something, have no idea what they're saying, and then come back with more confusion. I'm not doing that. And I'm not supposed to share that information anyway. So I can't, I don't have much to tell you. What I do know is that they told us to expect a long outage. We're going to have a long outage. Hey, Saint. Saint, I got you. Hold on a second. Let me help you out. Saint, this one's for you, buddy. So, point to me on the doll where the balance druid isn't doing good damage. Oh wait. My guild specifically has one of the top 2 boomkins on the server, and then one of the top 5 boomkins on the server. So I do have a bit of a problematic, I would say, this is full disclosure. These are some of the best, right? But I mean, let's look at the old dummy, the target dummy, right? Let's go look at Patchwork. That looks pretty good to me. I think they're doing fine. Are you sure they need buffs? Saint, I love you, man, but you just got real quiet. You got real quiet, Saint. That's all I'm saying. Shut up, Rokangren. Sorry. Rokangren says, Vrograg, I think I found an imposter who's trying to copycat your content. He goes under Zach Raw name on Twitch. No, he doesn't copy what I do because I give credit to the people whose content I use. Whoa! Oh my god! I think he does too, honestly, but my commentary is much more I think grounded than his, and I haven't watched his stuff in a while, so yeah, Barzani, you might be better off just going to sleep and hoping that it's up when you're awake. I don't know, man. I suppose it depends how many amphetamines the Turtle Wow team's going to abuse. Sorry, just looking at a Discord message, make sure I didn't upset anyone. Number 1, Horde Telebim. Not that means much. Horde Rogue. Let's go, Sagaball. Yeah, you go get it. I need to. This wasn't. By the way, this is one where I was asked last minute to bring my mage. My mage is not geared. Not like this. Not built like this. Let me see if I can grab the... Maybe a log that's like... has my shaman in it too? That doesn't look right. Was I off this day? Oh, that's another Shibiji one. Ugh. Shibiji, you're gross. check out this one. Just because I know where my gearing is with like my Shaman, so I can compare that. So this is trash parse. This is, I think this is everything. Is this everything? Select all. Did I heal? Yeah, I think I healed for one of the fights too. So
You're way down on the healing one.
I am, but I'm high enough to show that I actually did healing.
Probably 4 horses.
Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of 4 horsemen. Even then, that's a little high, but all right. Yeah. So this is so usually I'm somewhere like I go as far down as 15. Sometimes when I'm really pumping or the good DPS don't show up, I go higher. This is probably a time when I was... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was in a melee group. I've done better when I'm in a caster group, obviously. Yes, my damage was off the charts, yes. I do not know the last time Vrograg was on any log. I can look at Patchwork. Oh, I'm still breaking 1K on Patchwork, which I still feel good about. I don't feel good about this one because I clearly was phoning it in because I didn't throw any holy waters, but... Oh, you know what? That brings up a good point. I haven't looked at one of these in a while. Let me just grab this. I want to check this out. It won't let me move anything. Hold on, let me fix this. Okay. It's the speedruns. Speedrun rankings. Alright. I don't think I've seen much movement. Oh, an easy way to check to see if there's any new logs too. Sorry about the flashbang. You can generally just go here and see the most recent like stuff that's been entered. So this was on the 28th. Looks like mortality improved the record again in AQ40. Tab C's pushing AQ40. Again. Yep. Nothing too crazy happening. I think in a lot of ways the teams have been sort of keeping a low profile so they can get ready for the push for Kara 40. I had some insider information that one of the top speedrunning teams wasn't going to be participating because like their main raid lead's going to be on vacation when the patch drops. RIP to them. Oh, Drew, can I say hi to my #1 fan? Of course. Hey, how's it going? Hello to my #1 fan. Shouts out to you. You know who you are. Be nice for your dad. Stay in school and listen to him. And don't stop being awesome.
Maybe also love really
Oh, sorry. Murag actually read all of it. I hope you feel better. I'm sorry to hear you're sick. What?
Read the whole comment.
He's gonna miss the talent show?
He might, because he's sick.
Oh, listen, you gotta rest up, buddy. You don't want to miss the talent show. Now everyone knows how well I read everyone's comments. Hello, Shane Tate. Goblins, anyone can have raptor mounts if you get enough reputation. Lizard. Yeah, you can get them from the donation shop.
Did you get the new dungeon one?
There's the new dungeon one. There's also the ZG Raptor. You can just get. Yep, Sagabal mentioned the Wailing Caverns one. Let's see. Yep, see right here. New mount, Violet Raptor. Not violent, Violet Raptor. I'm still so excited for this, man. That Totem of Flowing Water needed something so badly. I don't think you can con her. I could be wrong, but Murad probably knows. She's a quest fiend for that kind of stuff. Can you still get the one in Ungoro? The Raptor in Ungoro?
No, that came out in Wrath.
Okay, I'm being told that came out in Wrath, so you cannot.
Yeah, it's not vanilla.
It's not vanilla.
It makes me sad because I love that quest chain.
She does like that quest change. I'm sorry, Con. There's plenty of other ways to get cooldowns. Admittedly, that was a good, very vanilla feeling quest. So I understand why the confusion is like, oh, that feels like a vanilla quest. Why isn't that still there? I don't see if there's anything else here I might have missed. I am interested that a lot of this... So, something about the quest rewards here from Tel Aviv, many of them are having added nature resist, which is kind of interesting. If you're in a bind, you could maybe use some of these pieces to cobble together your earliest nature resistance gear. I mean, some of it's going to be obviously outclassed, but some of you might want to keep a hand on just in case. Something to think about. Adrian, can I tell you a true story, Adrian? I never got an immortal charger when I got my immortal. True story. It's very sad. I got a gigantic blue dragon mount.
And then they took it away and gave it to a charger.
And then they tried to switch it out for a charger. And then there was a riot. I proudly mount my blue dragon mounts whenever I can on Rogue Rag. Yeah. No, if you did hardcore, I think the cutoff was like, I want to say early 2023. I could be wrong about that. But, I mean, I got mine spring of 2022. And the only mount they were giving out for Immortal back then was the Blue Dragon mount. Well, have a good night, Johnny. So I'm also looking at, I'm not like an itemization guru, but I'm looking at Grand Marshal's Mage Blade. All right, that's a sword. I mean, this is on par with Midnight Haze. Midnight Haze does 95 damage. It's kind of impressive. Let me check that. So Grand Marshal. What was it called? Mage Blade? Mage Blade? There it is. So what does it currently have? It has 1 critical on it. Now, hold on a second. They're changing that to 95? Well, it's within the budget for the item. I'm not saying it's not warranted. What is Wraithblade at? Because I think that's like the best comparison. So, all right. So keep this in mind, right? It's going to have as much damage on it as Wraithblade, has as much critical, which is 1. It doesn't have hit, right? So Wraithblade's locked here, right? But remember, they're doing stuff with the stamina and the int. Right now, it has 4 more stamina and the same int. Then if we go over here, so it's going to have 2 more stamina and 2 more int, which stinks that it doesn't have that hit, but you might not care. So, I mean, let's be honest here. Like, this is making the Grand Marshal stuff, the High Warlord stuff, into essentially Nax weapons. That's what I'm reading. I don't necessarily disagree with this. I think the people that did that grind are insane, but I think that's what this move is. I don't know if I have anything else to compare it to. Is there like a staff? Oh, this is bad. Oh, because it has spirit on it. Ugh. Hold on, let me check out Grand Marshal's High Warlord's War Staff. Grand Marshal's War Staff? No, War Staff. I'll just fight it. Don't they have a... Where did it go? I saw it right here. Oh, it just stave. Wait, it's stave for you, but it's staff for them? What's going on? Okay, I just literally just couldn't see it. So... what would I compare this with? Like... Brimstone? Like, I know the KT staff's there too, I'm just... So... they're changing this to 91? Or 95. The Brims... nah, there's just better staves in Nax, so... Hello, Nitsuki! Oh, I hope you've been having fun with that. Oh, I see. I didn't know if there was like a rule about it or whatever. As far, sorry, Gaturos says the Grand Marshal improvements are required because they need to be 1 tier lower than the current content. I agree with that. I think that's a good idea, but my only issue is that, like, I feel like their caster stave isn't really up to snuff. It has a lot of stamina. I'll definitely give you that. That's a chunky boy. You know, if you're I guess if you're a I don't think I would ever do the grind, but I could see a world where an elemental shaman could actually go for High Warlord's Mage Blade, with a Saf offhand might be better than KT staff. Possibly. Hard to say. Yeah. Anyway, I have thoroughly, in my opinion, gone through the changelog. We have checked out the classes. I talked about stuff I have no reason to think I know what I'm talking about. But you know what? We're probably, I'm going to be real with you guys, we're probably going to be in limbo for a while longer. And that's just how the cookie crumbles. Let me, here is, no. Yeah, no. Yeah, nothing's changed. I just checked the server status channel. So, you know what? If you're up late and it's EU, go to bed. If you're thinking about staying up late and you're US East Coast, probably go to bed. If you're West Coast, I don't know, go to bed. Because here's the thing, even if you log on, right? How long do you think before it crashes? Something's gonna fall through. It happens. And these things are very hard to get all the testing done for. So, you know, let's be realistic. Let's dial back our expectations. They got a couple days before Karazhan opens. I'm sure they're not at all sweating that. Also, if you're on the team, Godspeed in your endeavors. And try to sleep if you can. Take shifts, take care of yourself if you're on the team. You guys do this to yourself all the time, I swear. Geturos, you're right. But I'm going to wrap it up for now. I'm going to actually say hi to my wife and try to be like a present husband, that kind of stuff. The kind of wild stuff you hear about in stories. Hope I could make your waiting room a little bit more enjoyable. I don't really know if I'm going to stream tomorrow with like a live news. I might do something later in the week if I can catch some part of maybe attempts for world first, maybe. But the radio news, when the servers are back up, should be out. There's some stuff there. Yeah. So, in the meantime, enjoy the new patch, and if I don't see it, enjoy the raid if you get to try it. Thank you. Oh, sorry, I don't have my OBS up. Who was that? D Nasty Nice. That's a good name. Thank you for the follow. So, everybody, take care of yourself. If you're gonna no life it, remember to hydrate. Remember to take care of one another. When you're playing video games, keep in mind the object is to have fun. So if you're not doing that, reconsider your choices. And, as always, remember, the deadliest weapon is knowledge. Bye, guys.